What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 2 of the Return to Glory here with Kashima Antlers in the J-League. Hopefully you guys are good. Hopefully you enjoyed the first episode of this series. Of course, if you did miss it, you can go back and check it out, and all the videos in this series will be in a playlist, so if you ever miss a few, you can go back and check them out there. Anyway, let's get on with what's been happening since the last episode, where of course we covered the pre-season, my signings, and the first game of the season, which was against Ventforet. So since the first game of the season, it's been a bit of hit and miss really with us. As you can see, it's been a mixed bunch in the kind of first month, I guess, that we've been at the club. 2 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss. Just a quick overview of the competitions we're in, because I didn't do this last episode and I kind of feel like I should do it. So we have the J-League, which is of course the main championship within Japan. There's a few rules, no more than 3 foreign players, not including Asian players, which basically means 3 foreign players, and then you can have another player from an Asian nation. And then in terms of squad registration, you can have 5 foreign players in total, but only 4 in the match day squad. 7 subs, pretty standard stuff. Play everyone wants. Top 4 teams qualify for the Asian Champions League. If the Emperor's Cup winner hasn't already qualified, they get the 4th slot. So that's how that works. Really, my aim this year would be to get the Asian Champions League football, but it's a very tight league and we've had a little bit of a disappointing start to the season, as you can see. We're unbeaten, but we have drawn 4 in that time. So that's the main league that we're in. The other competition that we're in is the Nabisco Cup. Now this is basically a pretty standard kind of domestic competition where you have 2 leagues, every team plays each other once, top 2 teams go into the quarterfinals, and so on and so forth. And I can show you here, there are 2 groups, and that's how that works. So anyway, we have that, and then the one other competition we have, which is basically like the big national competition, which hasn't even been drawn yet, is the Emperor's Cup. Imagine it like your standard FA Cup, where any country or every club within the country can play in it. So yeah, today we're going to be playing against Gamba Osaka, but first let's take a look at our fixtures that we've played in the time that you guys have been gone. Just kicking it off with this game against Vijolta at home, this game, first home game of the season, and we won 3-2 thanks to a hat-trick from Davey, who actually came on off the bench after 7 minutes following the injury that we had to our first choice strikers. That was a little bit disappointing, but you can see here we took a lead, Davey squeezing a nice shot in at the near post. That was a good way to start the game. And if you look at the stats, you can see whilst 3-2 probably suggests it was a close game, in reality our team played very, very well indeed. So anyway, this was the first goal of the second half, coming nearly immediately from kickoff, you'll see. And this was quite a good goal to score, to be honest. We really suckered them up high, and then as you can see, Maiachi using that pace down the wing, then near post to Davey, good header, good goal. That was a nice way to kick off the second half. And then from there, I think we actually went 3-0 up here. I have a feeling, I might be wrong, don't quote me on this, but this was a little bit of an odd game because we were never comfortable. Even at 2-0, I think it was 2-0, and it went 2-1, then we got 3-1, 3-2. But it was a weird game because we never quite looked comfortable in this. I mean, you can see we're defending pretty strongly as a unit. You can kind of see the 4-2-3-1 coming out. But it has left us a little bit susceptible on the break. There's a few gaps that the midfield leaves behind them, certainly when we're going on the attack. And here, just a nice ball to Tomita made it 2-1. Fortunately, we did see out this game, and as I mentioned, Davey grabbed his 3rd goal of the game, completing his hat-trick, having come on off the bench, with just a nice little finish from outside the area. So that's how that finished, 3-2. It was a good result, good way to kind of kick off the home campaign. But unfortunately, since then, as you can see, we haven't won in the J1 division. The next game we had was against Sagan, who are a pretty good team. I believe they're actually top of the J-League right now as I record this video. So they're not a bad team by any means. 1-1 was slightly disappointing, especially seen as we had taken a lead in this game. Otsu grabbing us a goal just before half time, 2 minutes into extra time. It was a good way to go in at the break, and I thought we might be able to hold it on out, I guess, for the 3 points. Unfortunately, however, it wasn't the case, as we did concede with just 15 minutes left on the clock. Getting caught out on the break again. There's big kind of spaces in the midfield, just causing us some issues, I guess. I mean, you can kind of see they just outnumbered us just in front of our defence, and that has kind of come back to bite us. So speaking about tactics, on the tactics front, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, really. I've been tinkering with the tactic almost too much, and the more I think about it, the more I think I've changed it too much, because the team still aren't familiar with the tactic, despite my training focus now being very highly on the tactic system we're playing. I've kind of been tweaking with the 4-2-3-1. I touched upon how I've kind of struggled in the past to get a 4-2-3-1 to work, so I was going to be going with one that I'd had some success with in the past. Unfortunately, it was causing us some issues, just because our players' work rates are generally quite low across the board, so players really weren't working for opportunities, I guess. So yeah, I don't even know if this showed the goal because I was too busy rambling, but we did concede here, as I mentioned late on. But no, as I was just going to touch upon, you know, the 4-2-3-1 I've had some issues with. I'm actually now playing a narrower 4-2-3-1. Unfortunately, that does limit my actions use somewhat, but we have still got the option to play a wider 4-2-3-1 when the opportunities arise, and I will show you it in just a second. But anyway, this was the goal here. Sakano just chipping our keeper. So on the tactics front, the system we were playing before was something, not a variation of this, and I just didn't have too much success with it. So we've switched to this narrower setup, and it's serving us quite well. I mentioned the fact that Davey had established himself as a first-team player with Tanaka being out injured. Unfortunately, now Davey's out for a few weeks, so Tanaka's going to get another chance in the first team today, as we are going to be playing against Gamba Osaka. So yeah, you can see the familiarity is just not great. Our coaching setup isn't perfect by any means. You see tactics is only 2-star, something that I might look to work on in a few seasons, but right now it's just a bit of a pain really, more than anything, that I can't get these tactics trained particularly well. But one of those things, I guess. Just a few more fixtures to cover. I'm not going to show the highlights of these because a few of these games were quite high scoring, but we lost 2-6 against Grampus, with Yano grabbing 3 for them. They just outplayed us. It was a game in which we were a goal down and we went a goal up, and then we found ourselves slipping away a little bit. We got it back to 2-2, went 4-2 down just before half time. In the second half I had to go more attacking, and it cost us defensively. Anyway, from then we got a draw against Cerezo. Good result this. Diego Forlan did pull back 2 late goals for them, one from the penalty spot. This is the Diego Forlan, I do believe. Indeed it is. He actually joined them this year on a free, so he got 2 goals against them. I was never a fan of him when he was at United, still not a fan of him now. FM just seems to have this weird thing with wanting me to hate players who I dislike more than I already do. But anyway, next game was a 0-0 draw. This again was in the J1 League. This took our drawing run to 3 in a row and 4 in our last 5. And then we followed things up by playing against Vijolta, who were the only team we'd beaten in the J League, and we beat them 3-1, as you can see, with Davey grabbing another hat-trick against them. So something about playing against them Davey seems to really like. So anyway, those are the fixtures. As I mentioned in the league, we are still unbeaten, but 7 points from our first 5 is less than ideal. Overall, the league is really close. Frontale are kind of pulling away somewhat. They've only lost 1 game, so that's to be expected. Hashigi's had a good start to the season with us. He's on the assist charts, the 19-year-old getting loads of first-team football, and it's good to see him kind of stepping things up. I mean, overall, the team performances have been less than satisfactory, but Hashigi has certainly been a silver lining on what has been otherwise a slightly disappointing start to the season. So that's that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to show you guys, really. I think I've covered most of it this time. We're doing okay though, obviously. Profile here, just so you can see it. Continental reputation, that's because it's on automatic, so that goes in line with Antlers. I'm starting to get to know Japan a little bit better, and media handling has gone up because I'm actually doing press conferences on this save. So that's okay. All in all, I'm pretty happy with the team's performances so far. You know, the fact that we're not losing is positive, but this is the kind of game against Gamba Osaka, who are a very good team, where a win would be very much appreciated, and we could do with one. So we're going to try out the 4-2-3-1 with the narrow setup. This is a tactic that I only used in the last game where we won 3-1, so who knows, it'll be interesting to see how it does again today. I'm one of these people who likes to tinker with tactics a lot. And I do sometimes feel like I tinker them too much. Players just don't get adapted to them. And it kind of sometimes has a negative effect. Once I get settled into a tactic, I'm very content sticking with it. But before that, I'll tweak stuff too often. And I think that's a mistake that people make a lot of the time, just changing their tactics far too often in FM because results don't go their way for 1 or 2 games. But Tanaka, he's got to bury that. Side netting. 4 minutes in, though, we have broken down Gamba Osaka. That is a good start. But no, I know in classic mode in FM, there is no tactic familiarity. Players instantly click with the tactics. If that was an option to turn on in the full FM game, I may well do it. I think it just allows for a bit more tactic freedom. I'll tell you what isn't tactical freedom: when you go 1-0 down against Gamba Osaka in a game that you've been creating a few chances in but just not taken any. 1-0 down, not a good start to this game. Gamba are a very good team in the J-League. It is worth noting, they are one of the most successful teams in the J1 division history. They actually got relegated last year, I want to say. Last year they played in the J2 and they've only just been promoted back in. So, you'd still hope that we might be able to get a result here. But right now, it's looking somewhat disappointing from our players, although Nozawa wins the ball high up, but he lets it go. Come on, boys. Cutting out the pass well here. Now we have to break well. Tanaka, Nakada, Ishiki cannot get there. So you can see how this 4-2-3-1 works. There is still this gap that I really dislike between the 2 centre mids and the players deeper. We've got a chance here. Otsu, bury that. He goes too wide with it, and the keeper saves. Disappointing stuff right there for Antlers. That's 2 clear chances we've had, and we're yet to take one. Ishiki, though, with the set piece. Someone shoot. Someone. Oh my gosh. Yamamura, the centre-back, has just unleashed a thunderbolt. What a hit, son. Pressure has been telling. We've been playing well this game, and the ball just kind of falls to him here, and he's just had enough at this point. He's just had enough. Boom. Pick that out, keeper. 1-1. We're back in this. Nice play. Still one more chance perhaps before half-time here. We need to defend firm. 1-1 wouldn't be the worst result to take into the break, but they're on the attack here. Can we defend? No, we can't is the answer. Toyoda. It's been given offside. Thank you, Lino. Gamba Osaka really haven't created that many chances, really, compared to us. We just need to start taking a few more. Something that we have struggled with a little bit this year. I've kind of shown Davey has got 2 hat-tricks for us. He's injured right now. So we're looking for new players to kind of step up to the mark. I'm looking for a few of the attacking midfielders to start contributing on the goal front, because right now it's been something that has been somewhat lacking in our team's game, I guess. But anyway, we're looking okay here. Chance early on in this second half. Luis Alberto wins the ball. Ishiki gives the ball away sillily. Son, what was that? And now we have to defend. Alberto is obviously one of the best players in our team, but he's really not shown that so far this season. He's been a little bit underwhelming. I was hoping for him to have more of an impact, but Sugahata with an insane save. Thank you very much, my lad. Now defend the set piece. That will do just nicely. Second ball, though. Got to deal with that. Get it out. No nonsense defending. But no, we're looking okay here. We're looking decent. It's pretty even all in all, but we've created more chances, and maybe quantity over quality is the way we are going to win this game. We create more chances. Eventually it's got to hit the back of the net. I'm going to make a few changes here. Nozawa has been a little bit underwhelming, so we're going to bring in Motoyama and see if he can have a little bit more of an impact on the game here. In the attacking midfielder role, just get some fresh legs in. I'm going to switch to counter here. I should have changed sooner. Okay, it's hit the woodwork. Sugahata gets the rebound, however. Nice goalkeeping by him. And it looks like this is going to stay 1-1. Looking like that is going to be all she wrote here. Certainly not the worst result in the world, because Gamba are a very good team. But that is now our 5th draw in 6 games, I want to say, and that is somewhat concerning, just because you can't draw every game and expect to be finishing higher up. It's good to be unbeaten, and it's not a bad thing necessarily, but the way of looking at it is that 3 draws is the equivalent of 1 win. And in this kind of situation where we've had 5 draws, 2 wins and 3 more defeats would have been better than what we have ultimately got from these first few games. Anyway, I will just show you guys the board confidence. So, obviously our media prediction was 4th going into the year. I actually think it may have even gone up to 3rd. It hasn't, it is still 4th. But if I show you the confidence, the board are only really expecting a respectable league finish. They are quite realistic on that front, and I'm hoping that I'm going to get a chance to kind of really establish this team, give young players a chance. You can see the board are quite happy with what I'm doing on those fronts. But anyway, I think that is everything, guys, for this episode. Hopefully you did enjoy. As always, if you did, smash the like button. If we can get to 300 likes, we're going to get ambitious today. 300 likes, I will get the next episode up for you guys the day that we hit that many likes, if not sooner. If you have enjoyed and you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I always read them. I'll always reply to those comments which, need replying to. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.